Before I get started, I wanted to point out that before I purchased an SD2IEC device, I did try a few things to see if it would work, including enabling IEC on the Ultimate 64 and even trying the Kung Fu Flash cart, but to no avail. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to back up C64OS, update it, and explore around. Please bear with me on the exploring since I'm relatively new to this operating system. Alright, so the first thing the instructions tell us to do is to make a backup of this SD card right here. So what you want to do is find an SD card that's compatible. I figured this one would be good. It's an 8 gig SD card, and the key is to format it FAT32 for maximum compatibility. That's what I found works best. So the first thing I want to do is put the contents of this SD card onto this SD card. And since I only have one SD reader, I'm going to have to copy this one to my desktop and then from there paste it onto this one. And then let's get started with that. Alright, so I'm in the temp folder and I'm going to insert the SD card. And then there is the C64OS. And what we want to do is basically highlight everything there. Copy, and then in your temp folder, I think I'll just create a new folder under here and then paste the contents into that folder. And that shouldn't take too long. As you can see, the scroll bar. So now you have a backup of C64OS. Now we want to transfer the contents of that backup onto a FAT32 formatted SD card. Now I'm going to throw in the FAT32 SD card. And I already have a copy of C64OS on here, but I'm going to format it and right click, format. And hopefully on your computer you'll have a FAT32 on here. If not, there might be some additional steps needed. And then I was just going to leave the defaults here, 32K, quick format. And it's going to give you that warning. It's going to erase everything. And so now your drive should be formatted. And then all you're going to want to do is go into that folder, copy all the contents there, and then paste it into your SD card. Now that that's complete, you have a complete backup of the C64OS. Now it's time to run the install process for the first time. Alright, so a couple things you'll notice. I have my mouse here, and then I'm going to have my SAVYOUR mouse device plugged in. I'll have that plugged into port 1. I have my SD card here, and then I have my SD2IEC device that's plugged into the tape port. So I'm going to plug the SD card in, then we're going to switch over to view the Commodore 64 and run the install process. Okay, so ever since my video on Jiffy DOS, I've had Jiffy DOS installed and my default device is 9. So I'm going to use the Jiffy DOS command to switch the default device to 9 by using the #9. And then I'm going to press F1 to get a directory of the contents of the drive. And there it is. So this again is my backup copy. Now we want to run the C64OS setup. I know there's a Jiffy DOS way of doing that. I don't know if I can hit / here. Ah, there we go. Okay, so now you have to sign the agreement. Yes, I have read and I agree, so I press Y. It's a fresh installation or a changed installation location. I'm going to go with fresh. The device is 9, partition 1, and it's saying an item named OS already exists, and then it's going to start the installation process. Now, I have done this without Jiffy DOS, and it took around 25 minutes. So I'm assuming it's going to be considerably faster, but it's still going to be slow. So I'm going to let this run in fast motion. Unarchiving complete. Alright, so let's try loading C64OS now. Get another directory from the root. And let's just run it. Let's see. Oops. See if it takes the 15 seconds-ish. And then let's see if my mouse works. Indeed, elementary Watson. Now the next thing, so this is 1.0 of the operating system, and I don't know very much. I haven't played with this for very long, even though I've had it for a couple of months. But the next thing I want to do, and I know there's been some fixes, there's been like a 1.1, a 1.2, and I think a 1.3. So that's the next thing I want to do, is load those updates. Okay, so on the C64OS website, on the left-hand side, there is a link for software updates. And then on that page, it shows that there is a 1.01, a 1.02, and a 1.03. So I may have misspoken about the version numbers earlier. I thought it was 1.1, 1.2. But it's 01, 02, and 03. And then also from this page, there's a link to show you how to install the updates. And it looks like from the instructions here, you do this from the OS itself. So what I'm going to do first here is download the update. I don't know if I can go directly from 1.0 to 1.03, but I'm going to try it. So I'm going to download that, and then I will put a copy of that over on the SD card. And I'm not sure if I should just put it out in the root, but that's where I'll put it. And then we'll put that back in the SD2IEC and give the update instructions a run for the money. Okay, so now I have the update loaded on the SD card. But before we load it, I'm going to go up here and click About This App, just to confirm that we're on version 1.0. Now, Greg has a video on this whole process, and it was very helpful, and I recommend you take a look at that, and I'll put the link in the description. So next, what we want to do is we want to head over to the file manager. So once you're in the file manager, in order to navigate up to the root folder, you click on Go and then select root directory. There's our updated file right there. So what we want to do is click on it, double click it, and wait for that to come up. So the .car has an app or a file, an app tied to that extension. And on the video, Greg showed us that you can scroll this note field over and look through it. See, you can read the note. This is the OS 1.03. It has this information here, install v2. And then all you have to do is click install. Let's see it go. Now he did say after this runs, because there are kernel updates, it requires a reboot. All right, now that that's done, we can go up to the options and quit to basic. Or if you're using an Ultimate 64, you could just go into the menus, press F5, and reboot your C64. And we're going to load the OS again. And I'm still acclimating to, I wonder if I could just do that, to Jiffy DOS. So ideally, once this starts up, we'll be in version 1.03. And we'll check that in the About menu. Okay, so here we are back from right where we left off here. Oops. And let's go back to settings and about. Oh, and lo and behold, version 1.03. Now let's switch over and look at the website and see exactly what this update had on it. Quickly go over the update notes. So again, from the C64OS website, on the left there's the software updates button, and then straight from there you can see the version 1.01 update right here, and it lists the features right here. There's added mouse support, driver for port 2, added the default desktop backdrop for the backdrops directory. And some of these are actually pretty technical. Fixes an issue that prevented the installer utility from updating files with names longer than 14 characters. Fixes an issue copying a note from a car file from the installation utility to the clipboard. And on version 1.03, the latest one, new checksum utility, new CRC tool, new micro miss mouse driver, port 1, mouse wheel support in all toolkit scroll views, new mount utility, and 13 new sample desktop backdrops. The instructions did say before we do it, we should have done a backup, but I figured I was running through this quickly, and if I had to, I would just redo the steps if I had to. So that is what is in the update. Maybe let's take a quick look around in the operating system now. Basically, this is a first look for me. I haven't played around with it too much, so I need to get more familiar with it myself. Let's take a look around. All right, so we're here. Oops. Now, oops. And part of this, you have to hold the button down on these, and then when you let go, it will start an app. So right here, this is a calculator. 15 times 3 equals 45. And then I'm going to close by clicking the top left. I want to get back to my desktop. Let's see if Go has something. Okay, so this is more for directories. Go applications, what's that do? That's where I am right now, okay. Go utilities. Okay, that takes us into the utilities. I'm just checking a look around here. There's the D&D roller. Now there is a way to get out of this, and I don't recall how. Let me double click the left. That's not doing it. I clicked the clock up there. Let's see what that does. Oh, this is what I did. Okay, so you double click the clock and you get this application has unexpectedly quit. And then I just clicked home. That's my workaround to getting, basically you're restarting here. I like the little clock there on the top left. Okay, so now this time it didn't take me home. So I'm gonna double click the clock again. I need to hit retry. Oh, it does that. So it's just gonna bring me back here. You would think it would be from one of these menus. What's App Launcher do? Okay, it's App Launcher. But it's a trip. Just double clicking the clock, at least in the file manager, was crashing the system. So I did notice that on 1.0, but I thought by now maybe it would have been fixed. I guess I should report it. But these are hyperlinks to things you can double click on. So if I wanted to play chess, I can click on it. And you can move around the links. So this is a text-based operating system. It's really kind of cool, and it's only getting better every single day as Gregory is making improvements all the time. And when you purchase this, you get a link to his Discord, and you can ask questions. There's a ton of people on there with way more knowledge than I have about the system. But let's just take a look. Let's double click chess. Oh, now everything's crashing on me. I swear I had the chess thing working before. Let's look at gallery. Okay, so gallery is working. I'll double click people. Okay, so there's nothing in here in people, I assume. Oh, there we go. There we go. Double clicked. Let's go to the wallpapers. And I forget if you pulled up the bottom. Ah, there it is. You pull up the bottom. You pull up the bottom to see the image, which is really neat, right? I think that's the flower. So let's go back to people. And here's the Emma Roberts. Emma Rose. It says Emma Roberts there. Emma Rose Roberts. Okay, Emma Rose Roberts. Oh, there we go. And then there's a few on here you can look at. Ivana Milicevic. It's very nice. I just like that, or just playing around with that is kind of neat. Go home. Flips you back to the app launcher. I wish there was a more consistent way of always getting back to this screen through all the apps. Let's check out colors. So here you can change the different colors. Ah, here we go. So you got your background. I actually quite like the black. Yeah, I'll leave it black. Now, I know there's also a way of setting up a hyperlink, and that's what we're going to look at next. I want to try to figure out how to set up a hyperlink to a program that is on the SD2IEC to start a game. All right, so now Gregory does have a tutorial on how to create a program alias, but I was looking at it and it's going to be it's a little complicated, especially for this video. It requires you to know a little bit of the Jiffy DOS commands, or at least how to navigate the directory structure, depending. Let's try the change backdrop option, see what we can do. It's in my games folder. I thought pictures would work. Maybe there's another folder for it. How about OS? OS. Desktop. Backdrops. Hey, maybe I'm getting warm. Commodore logo. Oh, okay, so select is lit up now. Seeing if I can pull it up. How do I see it though? Oh, there it is, the Commodore logo. Okay. I like that. Okay. What's Max do? Okay, so that one, it just kind of sorts it. I mean, centers it. That's cool. See, I'm just easily dragging around this window, which is pretty neat. What's diagonal? Okay, it's like a box, a diagonal box. I don't know, all those, I kind of liked the Commodore one the best. Let's see what else we got. Planet. Okay, we got Earth and the moon. Okay. Kind of low res there, right? What's screen edit? Oh, can't select that. Okay, okay. Star Trek. Oh, okay. You notice that your I call them hyperlinks, but your program aliases are on top of the images, so I guess there's no way to get around that really. I mean, depends on how the background's laid out. Let's set it to the C64 one is what I'm thinking. There it is. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna close. Yeah, okay. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna try chess again. Don't dare try it. There it is. Okay, show the board. Can I move this? Yeah, so I think this was just a proof of concept. Let me see. So it's the computer's not actually playing, I'm just picking some spots here. Oh, it doesn't let me pick the knight. Oh, it's my turn over here. Okay, yeah. Oh, that is cool. Let's move the queen out. Oh, this is cool. Now let's see, how do we get out of it? So it's show board. Go home. Anyway, I don't know. I think it has a lot of potential. I think Gregory's put a lot of work into it. He's done a great job, and he continues to add features to this. It's only going to get better and easier for a noob like myself to use, and I'm going to continue playing around with it. I want to dig deeper into how to do things like the program aliases. I'm hoping that there eventually will be an easier way to do some of those things. So just keep in mind, this is a 1.0 project. There are some bugs in it. There are some problems here and there, but overall, I mean, he's working hard to make this a better project. We've already seen 3 updates. I don't know, I think it's fun. It does require a lot of investment though. At the minimum, you need, I don't think this, you can use the joystick to control it, but really it's not very functional. It's not a way you would want to run an operating system with a joystick. You know, I've tried it and I didn't like that approach. So you do need some sort of a mouse interface, such as the SAVYOUR or the Mouster or something, so that you can move the mouse more freely. So it's so much easier to navigate around using the mouse. The other thing you really have to have is some sort of an SD2IEC device, a RAM drive, or there's a couple of different options for that. The one that I purchased, and I did a video on it, was from the future was 8-bit, and it's working great. Anyhow, to use this, you'll need those extra peripheral add-ons. The other thing you're going to want to use is some sort of a speed enhancer such as Jiffy DOS, because it's really slow without it, especially installing the operating system from scratch. It's really slow. It makes Windows 95 look fast. So anyway, that's my video. I appreciate you taking the time to look at it, and thanks for watching.